Greetings, Una D here from O2 Energy Evolution. I wanted to take some time today to talk about a vision that I had regarding the moon. And I'm talking about this vision today because a lot of things, a lot of YouTubers, and my own personal experience has me um, thinking about this vision I had a little over 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, let's say. Not 2 years ago. Let's say a little over a year ago. Um, but I'm having a lot of trouble getting it out because, well, I don't know. But it doesn't flow easily. And I think it doesn't flow easily because all my life I have been told that I shouldn't talk about that. It's not even real, it's evil. Um, when I was a kid, my truth used to get beat out of me. As an adult, I have friends who will tell me that I shouldn't deliver that message, or that message is untrue or evil, or um, they didn't like the way I said it. I mean, I feel like I'm under constant attack, even from people I know, love, and respect. Even from light workers who are stepping into their power will tell me, don't talk about that. And I don't want to not talk about it anymore because what if it's relevant? What if it's helping someone else? What if my key opens a door? But I'm having trouble getting the words out because all my life I've been told my visions, my feelings, my reality was invalid, and I need to just step in line. And so it's really been hard for me to just talk about the moon. My vision of the moon came back to me this year after I saw it a year ago, a little over a year ago. We've already went over that part. It's been a while. I didn't write the dates down. I never write dates down. It's there. A little over a year ago, it was triggered a couple of times during quarantine for different reasons, but it keeps coming up for me. So now I'm like, let me share, because the moon affects all of us. The moon affects our moods. The moon affects the light in the sky. The moon affects us. So if they're working on something that affects our emotions, yeah, maybe it's important. I seriously just wanted to shut this off again. I've shut it off, I don't know, about 12 times. It's not even that serious of a vision, but for some reason that's hard for me to talk about. Just gonna keep going. Just give me a second. I don't know why. It's like a struggle. Like I'm really having an internal struggle right now. I don't know why. Just talking about the moon. I'm not even telling you anything like personal. I tried to do this video like 12 times. I don't even want to stop anymore. I'm just gonna have to let it roll. The moon affects us all. And a lot of us are seeing changes with the moon, feeling changes, or having visions. So on YouTube a few days ago, I was watching a woman. She covers the skies and different beings in the sky. And she had a picture of a moon that was taken down. So I was like, oh, that must be pretty important. There must be hiding something on the moon. And I told her in the comment section, I certainly did see them on the back of the moon working on a tower. And that video got taken down yesterday. One of my Starseed YouTubers was talking about he's in France, and he was talking about being in America. The streets were crowded, and someone said, I don't remember the exact words, but the moon is off. And so, yeah, my vision of the moon is hard to talk about clearly. Super easy. Actually, I've talked about it before, but not like with other pieces to it. So, my vision on the moon was in my sleep state. I went to the moon as a light being, so I'm pretty much the same form I am now, but maybe more like Tinkerbell, just a light flickering around. They can see me. I feel like they can see me as I am, but I can also feel that as I am is light. Um, I watched them for a while, just tinkering around with some tower on the moon. They were in these like hazmat suits that look a lot like those suits. Well, they could have been space suits. I don't know. You know, I'm not familiar with the moon. I don't go up there often. Um, but they looked a lot like the hazmat suits they're using during testing for a certain thing that we all been sitting in the house for a couple months now. And apparently it's supposed to be on round two, but another story. Um, they were up there fiddling with the tower on the moon. They were doing something like they were trying to dismantle it. I don't know what these beings do. They do some odd stuff. But if you think about the moon, and the moon holds our emotions and it affects our emotions. You've seen it during a full moon. You know it during a new moon. You know it's like a refreshing period. And they're up there fiddling with it. Are they messing with our emotions? Okay, so I'm on the moon to see the tower. Here comes the interesting part. I went from seeing the moon to being back on ground in a city and watching a helicopter crash. And the helicopter crash diverted people from what was going on. Everybody was sidetracked by the helicopter crash, was really bringing something else in. So what did we have in the beginning of this year? A helicopter crash that affected people in a major city because it was a major figure from a major city that died in a helicopter crash, and they had all these odd ceremonies around that. And then a month later or so, we end up quarantined in our house. And I remember it was a beautiful, clear sky. I want to say it was March. It might have been early May, April, but I'm almost sure it was March. I went outside. The moon should have been about at a quarter, and there was no moon out there. And my mother lives next door. I went over there. I said, "Do you see a moon?" She was like, "No, it'll be out later." You know, she's totally. And I'm like, okay. So I went back in the house, and I came out about 9:30 and looked around, and there was still no moon. I called my light worker friend, I texted her, and I was like, "Do you see a moon out there?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah, I had a dream about them working on the moon one time." And she was like, "I bet you did." And so I'm just saying that to say that now I see a person on YouTube and the moon is on the wrong axis, which I've noticed the moon was tilted on the wrong axis. I've seen the moon full blown at 2 p.m. I had the person yesterday telling me the moon was off, or saying that they had a vision that the moon was off. So, I mean, it's quite feasible that our reactions, our actions, everything that's happening is because of something that people are doing on the moon. That's just my personal opinion on it. I could be wrong, but I saw them up there working on the moon, and they knew they needed to be a distraction. So there was a huge crash of a helicopter. Like, I watched the whole crash of the helicopter. It was crazy, and just people were like, oh. And I was like, but what about what happened on the moon? Anyway, maybe nothing to do with nothing, and maybe everything to do with everything. It was very hard for me to talk about the moon, so hard I just left pieces off. I hope like it at least had an understanding for someone that there is something with the moon that is creating more of what we're getting. And awareness is key, and people are noticing, and I am aware. And it's kind of time. It's time for us to decide. I keep saying it. It's time for us to decide. This is probably the longest video I've ever done, mostly because I couldn't get the words out. But take a look at the moon. Take a look at your surroundings. But mostly it's time to take a look about what you really want out of your life and get your emotions and your life in the order you want it to be in. Have a wonderful day.